Okay, so we're back at a helicopter again. They just replaced the evaporator and it had an airflow issue. They had a recall issue on the blower motor for supposedly fire problem on a connector that would get hot and burn. And so since it's a recall, that was covered under warranty kind of thing. And they replaced that. The evaporator was filled with everybody's hair and lint off their jackets because this is the air intake, and that's a small air intake. He stuffed a filter up there to try to do that, but for us who know airflow, you cannot make a filter like that the same size as the hole taking it in because it's too restrictive. And one of the complaints were very little airflow to cool the back area. There's 5 people who could go back here. And so I told him that has to go, and there's really no room in an FAA. You can't just modify and make things and make a filter box back there. That's not allowed. So that in the end probably will have to leave unless he can make some sort of sock that has a lot of surface area. It'd have to be very deep pleated, like 10 or 12 inch pleats, and a lot of them, to lower the static pressure and make it less restrictive, even like the most cheapest filter available. But I know because it's so expensive for that case they had to replace, that I understand why they want to do that. So I would not be allowed to do no modifications even if I knew what to do, because of all the restrictions on aviation about not modifying things. You can't believe how expensive every normal component on here is. So doing the recovery right now, they changed the one evaporator. This has 3 evaporators. So there's one evaporator right back in here for the front. Then there's 2 evaporators in the front. That's nice and dirty, and I told him he has to clean that. They got to get a little skinny guy up in there with a little scraper and a little vacuum cleaner and stuff to get way up in here, because there's only a few inches. Even I could barely, to get up in there and crawl in there. And this one too, highly, as you can see, very restrictive up in there. So you got 2 expansion valves to 2 evaporators up here. You have another expansion valve to the evaporator back there. This is a constantly running system with a bypass on it right here for the solenoid. And this is the feed for the expansion valves to this receiver dryer right here, going to the expansion valves going up. And then this is from the compressor right here going down to the condenser. And the condenser is down here with a really high output blower. And when this flies, this is the condenser right here. This is the outlet, the screen you see. This is a door flap. This door flap, this will open up and it catches the air, and the air goes inside, and it has a really high output DC motor, and it blows out the hot air here like that. When that fails, it causes high head pressure problems, and high head pressure problems takes a lot of horsepower because the compressor is driven off this little belt that is also for the rotor valve. They're very dangerous. You guys who just guess on how much oil you put in the system, or guess by the little can, oh yeah, let's use a can of AC Pro on this and follow their instructions by the little gauge on aircraft. Yeah, that's gonna go over well. And as you can see, everything is cross drilled and wired. God, I wish they could do this on automotive. It would get rid of all the hacks. Everything that falls apart and breaks down and people need tow trucks. See how all the bolts are torqued, cross-threaded, and with the wire is wrapped, twisted. This is what we have to bring to automotive. Look at how, when you have a piece of wire, look how they tie. Every few inches. Look at that. Every 2 inches, they have a little tie for the wires. No wires vibrate anywhere. Yeah, bring this to automotive. And this is their air conditioning line. Look at the air conditioning line. So you have the air conditioning line in there. Then you have a fiberglass high heat resistant fiber over it, and the fiber is coated and surrounded in like your RTV orange for exhaust manifold. RTV it's all jacketed like this, protecting the hoses underneath. No vibration can happen. Look at how these things are all locked together. Look at how they do this shit. Bring this to automotive, guys. Come on, please. Let's get rid of the hacks. And look how every tie strap, every ground is just, nothing could move anywhere. They don't give any grievance for anything to have an excuse to fail. Look how they do the bolts there. The rotary blade inside here, the turbine, the spinning little turbine, he handed me one in my hand before. That's inside here that spins around. One of the rotary blades, I think it was like $70,000, made out of this special high temperature metal that spins at, I can't remember how many ridiculous RPMs it is and how much heat it has to withstand. But yeah, these things are a masterpiece of engineering. One time, one of these things, they hit the corner of a blade, hit a doorway going out, and I think a blade was like 80 grand for a single blade. And you don't just replace the blade, you now have to balance the whole, all the rotor assembly and everything like that. And it was a couple day process. The cost of a house in most of our country, just to the whole assembly of undoing the blade, replacing the blade, and rebalancing and everything like that. Basically, you buy a house. Yeah, this is it. And this, getting up into here. So there's the ducting right there. Here's some of the ducting going over there. And there's the other black one right there. That's part of the ducting. And they're putting bore scopes down everything, looking for restrictions. I don't see a problem why the airflow should be low. So this is the manifold right here, where it blows out into right here, and then this is where it splits for the rear. And there's not much room, so it's not like you can make it bigger. Let's see. So no, right here. So these are the bolts for the bottom of the blower. So let's go up here and look. Let's see, can I get over there? Right inside there. That's the return. We're looking at the return right there. So there's the return. And that's from that, where he put that little filter. You see that hose there, the corrugated one. That's like your Armor Flex, but it's black with the threads on it. So I want to know what's in here. What the hell? It goes through here. Oh, that must be the okay, I gotta study this more. So it goes through there. See, even I don't know these systems. I've been working on them for a while, but I don't ever take them apart. There's the blower motor. I see the blower motor case right there. So there's the blower. And this is where I cannot even get up in here. They had to hire a little girl. I mean, she's a little woman, but she's in aviation. And they had to hire her to get her shoulders and head up in here. And she had to take all this stuff apart here. She had to take everything apart here. All this stuff had to come out. Everything had to come out to get to the blower case in there. You could buy a small car for the price of what this job cost to do this. I'm getting my head. So my head only, my shoulders can't get up here. My arms can't get up here. And that's why they had to hire a very small woman who's an aviation mechanic to come do this job. Okay, so this is part of the air conditioning stuff right here. That's HVAC, that's HVAC. See where that red line is? That's coated, that's all HVAC. You see the dum-dum on there, the butyl insulating tape, that's all HVAC. So you see, let's see. You see that header and that splitter back there, right back, I can barely get my phone there, but right back there where you see that Y and two black pipes up, that's HVAC. The red one's HVAC. The stainless steel line right next to the red line or orange line is HVAC. Then coming up, another little line, that's HVAC. And then you see the antenna stuff, the high frequency stuff. And that must be the feed of the liquid. Yeah, that's the feed of the liquid lighting. It's going to go to expansion valve to the evaporator case inside this box. That's what this box is right here. And then it comes out the other side. Okay, it goes in this direction. Then it hits the blower. It goes through the blower, and then it comes to the case right here. And it comes right here, and then it Y's out. And then they both deliver back through the header and go up to the distribution box, to the 4 ducts, to the 4 ports. Okay. And those 2 lines that are feeding the cool air, is one comes over here, one comes over to the other side, and they're feeding these 2 outlet ducts right here, and 2 more over there. All right, this video is getting long enough, and that's where the other 2 evaporator cases are, up there in front where the pilot sits and the co-pilot.